The two leaders briefly shook hands in front of the eyes of the media and the world. Trump then seemed to lead Kim inside, where they exchanged a few words through translators.
My honor, and we will have a terrific relationship, I have no doubt.
So you heard right there Trump saying it was his honor. That was apparently a hit. And Kim pointed out there were obstacles to get to the summit, but, quote, we overcame them together. So joining us now with more live from Singapore, CBC's Asia correspondent Sasha Petrusik. So we saw that moment, Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump together. What impact do you think that scene had?
Well, that was the scene, Andrew, that Kim Jong-un and his father have been working for really a quarter of a century now. They have been trying to be accepted, to be seen on the world stage as a nuclear equal to the United States. Previous U.S. presidents have refused to give them that scene, to give them the victory of being seen as an equal that way. Donald Trump did it, and he was criticized for that, just for that very handshake and that little meeting in front of the flags, because that is considered a victory for North Korea, something that American critics say Donald Trump didn't insist on anything in return. So in the zero-sum game of summit diplomacy, that was seen as a North Korean win. Just those pictures we saw.
And so whatever the world ends up making of that moment, that handshake, they are down to business now. What are they likely talking about?
Well, they did go for about 45 minutes into a what was called a private meeting, just them and their interpreters discussing things. You know, Donald Trump over the past few days has said that in the first moments, in the first minute, he is going to be able to size up Kim Jong-un and decide whether this is someone that he can do business with in a very much in his art of the deal kind of approach. We don't know what he actually said or thought about that. But when they came out afterwards, he said it was very, very good, an excellent relationship. So that part of it, at least, seems to have gone by well. As for the substance, that's something that we can only imagine what the conversation was like. Donald Trump probably said, Mr. Kim, are you going to give up your nuclear weapons? Probably a very vague answer to that. And Kim Jong-un probably turned around to Donald Trump and said, are you going to ease up economic sanctions? And most importantly, are you going to promise me that you're not going to attack North Korea? Those are the two things that North Korea wants out of this negotiation, out of these meetings. And it's not clear whether they're going to get it or not. Reportedly, last night, the officials from both North Korea and the United States were meeting all night and trying to come up with some way of bridging the gap on denuclearization, which the two sides are still quite far apart on. Not clear whether that has happened, but we should find out within the next hours, perhaps, now that all the officials are meeting as well.
Okay, thank you, Sasha. Sasha Petrusik in Singapore. Now, negotiation, especially the way Donald Trump tends to describe it, is about power. So who has the upper hand in these negotiations? Well, where past presidents might have said something like, all options are on the table, Trump has been more colorful.
They will be met with fire and fury.
That threat of force from an unpredictable president creates leverage. So too do tighter sanctions. China has helped with this. Just look at how North Korea's exports plummeted last year. And North Korea has already handed Trump some minor concessions, releasing 3 American prisoners.
I think that we're going to have a success.
And blowing up parts of a nuclear testing facility with lots of fanfare, but no verification from arms control experts. And the reaction to Trump's brief cancellation of the summit suggests he has Kim right where he wants him, at least according to Trump's personal lawyer.
Kim Jong-un got back on his hands and knees and begged for it, which is exactly the position you want to put him in.
Thing is, North Korea has wanted to hold a summit with a U.S. president for at least 20 years, eager to be treated as an equal. But past presidents have never felt Pyongyang was sincere enough. Closest thing before Trump was a Secretary of State visit in 2000.
Nobel Peace Prize? Yes, sir. Well, I just think that President Moon was very nice when he suggested it. I want to get peace.
Trump, by contrast, responded to North Korean overtures with blinding speed. So what's changed? Kim Jong-un is now believed to have dozens of nuclear warheads and missiles that might be able to take them to the U.S. mainland. That's his leverage. And the clearest sign of success so far, Kim Jong-un has barely budged an inch, and he already has a U.S. president at the table. Goes without saying, the stakes for both countries are high, but there's also the show of what's happening, the optics. This is just 12 hours before the meeting. Kim Jong-un was he busily preparing a locking down with his advisors or strategizing? No, he was doing a little sightseeing, touring a nature park, even snapping selfies with local officials. Then, surprising guests at a nearby hotel, he made his way up to a 57th floor observation deck to take in the views.